Welcome to Cash Call. Listen live as expert sales trainers give actionable feedback on real calls while you learn coaching tips directly from the professionals.
Hey, everybody, come on in. It is Dale Archdekin. I did not even realize that Brian Curtis was not going to be here today. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and I have a call to play with you guys today, but it's just Dale. I mean, that's kind of weird if I don't have a co-host. So I'm looking in the list here. We got Gary Bale, Jamie Solis, Jeffrey Greer, Joey Miller's on. I'm going to see if there's somebody that I can promote out of the audience here that is actually going to be my co-host for today. We're going to play a little Russian roulette with our co-host. Let me see here. Why don't you guys chat in? Let me know if you're interested. Debra Durbin's here. Let me see if you're interested in being a co-host with me today. So what I'm going to do is I have a call I'm going to play. I'm going to talk about the call. It just makes it easier if I have somebody to talk to. Jenny Hurst is here. Jenny just was in my last my follow-up boss training I just did. So let me see who. Let's see. Are the comments open? Are you guys able to comment? I didn't want to leave you guys hanging because we didn't cancel for today. Let me see if the comments are open in chat. Let me see here. Sometimes, okay, you guys can chat with everyone. All right, let me know in the chat who wants to co-host. Who wants to? Debra Durbin is, or we got one bid. Anybody else? Deb Durbin. All right, Deb Durbin, it's you. We're going to promote you to co-host. Where are you? Let me find you in the list. There we go. Promote to panelist. There we go. So while she's doing that, I'm going to announce this cash call, everybody. Dale Archdekin and Brian Curtis is away on vacation. I have promoted one of my company's past clients, Debra Durbin. How are you, Debra? Why don't you unmute yourself and let everybody in the audience know who you are? And then you can all vote as to whether you think Debra was a good co-host. Isn't that terrible, Debra, that we'd set you up like that?
I'm in. Can you hear me?
You are a trooper. Yes, we can hear you. Thanks for being willing to do that. So again, everybody just popping on here, my co-host Brian Curtis is not around. And although, listen, I love the sound of my own voice, I needed to give you guys another face to look at. So Debra, thanks for doing that. And so you've been a client of ours in the past, right?
You bet. Absolutely.
Excellent. That's good.
With Daquan, who is fantastic.
Daquan, one of our trainers, is actually back there. There's Daquan on our little poster in the background. Yeah, excellent. So I've got a call that we're going to listen to today, Debra, and it's from another client. And this salesperson, he's a great guy, means well, but he's kind of your classic salesperson. And it almost kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Like when we first started working together, you were just close, right? You're like, hey, can I sell you something? Can I sell you something now? Can I sell you something later? Let's talk about selling now, right? So we got you to break that down and ask more questions. I don't know if that resonates for you.
It resonates for me. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this guy, this salesperson, he is a closer, man. Like he asks for the sale, and we're going to hear this, and I want to play it. And I think it's really helpful to listen to it from a third party. And then I'll tell you guys what happened, because he ends up setting an appointment, and I'll tell you what happens after that. So let me tee up this call, and here we go. I share my screen. When it starts playing, Debra, if you hear it, just give me a thumbs up, okay? And I actually found out this amazing thing that I can get my assistants to actually turn the volume up on these damn calls. So for like 4 years of our podcast, sometimes the call quality sucks, but they actually turned it up for me.
Hello.
Hello, Haley. This is. How you doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just checking in on you. It looks like you were looking for homes on my website, and I was wondering if you needed to get into something right away, or you're just browsing.
No, I'm just looking.
All right, so that's our typical script, right? Are you buying or not? She said not. Great. He's off to a good start. Now, listen to what he does, and this is how you can tell that this guy's just sales, right?
Okay, great. That's what it's for. So what's got you looking?
That's a good question.
I'm just looking to see what's around.
Okay. thinking about doing something in the future, maybe.
Now he went to a time frame question. I don't think that's the best thing to do, right? Deborah, when we go to that time frame question, we're just reinforcing that we're a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about how far in the future you're thinking about?
No, she has no idea, man. Right, Deborah? She has no idea when she's going to be buying.
There's no rapport building yet.
There's not. And especially, if the person doesn't have a time frame, she said she's just looking. She already answered that. Don't ask her again. Because what does a salesperson want you to do, Deborah?
Close. To give them
Sales.
the sale.
Yeah. The salesperson wants you to buy or sell. They want you to transact. And if you keep asking, when are you going to transact? It's just so obvious that you're a salesperson. So you got to switch gears. And you mentioned no rapport built. Switch to building rapport.
I don't know yet.
No, just kicking it around the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all good. Great thing is I like to deal with all parts of the stage or the process, so I can help you if you want, get things rolling.
So we're at a minute in and he just soft closed her for the business. You heard that?
Yeah, always. And again, I think, I can use myself as an example. Sometimes in your head, you just need to slow it down and start to ask yourself the questions that you would want to be asked if you're on the other side. I think that's what Daquan did for me, is to get me to slow it down and not be so jumpy about going for the close. So I'm hearing in him what I was hearing in myself.
That's great. That's why it kind of worked out fortuitously that you've been a client of ours. You happen to be kind of an aggressive salesperson like this guy is, good at it, but an aggressive one, and helping you to slow that down a little bit. And now you can hear it, right? Which I think is hugely important. So, what would you, instead of him asking those time frame questions, what would you have done for rapport? What would you have asked her?
I would have gone back to asking her, tell me a little bit about you. What is it you think you might be looking for? Do you have family members? Are there children in the family? What's important to you when you think about buying a place? Is it schools? Is it the area? Tell me what you're thinking about going forward in terms of what you might be looking for, so I can do a better job of helping you.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think what I would have done is I would have immediately shifted to where she's at now. So we talk about future questions, right? He's asking a lot of future tense questions. When do you want to buy? When do you want to get moved, right? So I switched to present tense when people don't have future answers for you. And that could be as simple as, hey, so I live in whatever area. Do you live in this area now, or are you relocating here? Just switching to that present tense question, because anybody can answer that, right? Anybody can tell you if they live here now or whether they're planning to move here, and it alleviates some of that sales pressure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is there any particular area you want to stay around?
The Papa area.
Papa. Okay. What's important about the Papa area for you?
Good question.
I have family.
Awesome. All right. So if we were to draw a circle around Papa, how far out could we go? Or do you want to stay directly in that town, or could we go out a few miles?
Yeah, we could go out a little bit.
Okay. What are you thinking, like 30 minutes to an hour?
So I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to draw like a circle to be able to send her properties, right? And have an idea. Instead of doing that, because she's reserved, because she's not ready, because she's giving us very short answers after she answered the family thing. And based on how, she sounds like she's a younger person, that might just be her voice. I don't know, but it sounds that way. I probably would have switched to the question of like, oh, got it. So would this be your first home that you're purchasing? Are you guys renting now, or have you gone through, or do you currently own your home, right? So then now, if she's a first-time buyer, I get to celebrate it. If she's a renter and moving out or moving out of a family home, I get to celebrate it, right? So I can build more rapport using that specific question. What do you think, Deborah?
Well, yes, I do. And I think that he almost blew it in the beginning to be able to get to this point where he could actually bring it back around to her talking about why she wants to live in Pawpaw and all of that sort of thing. So he's lucky he's been able to kind of get a little bit back on track and start to get her to talk a little bit more. Again, I think he needs to focus down on words like my family lives there, you know, to try to use that to give him some points to talk to her about, to bring her down from the fact that she's sitting across from a very hard closer.
Yeah, she's in the sales trap and she hasn't gotten out yet.
Right.
Probably about 30 minutes.
Okay. 30 minutes. Now, have you, do you know like your financial situation, like what you're going to be looking in the range of price-wise, or?
I feel like it's a little too early for that question, but
Way.
way too early, right? For those of you who are just joining us now and you want to know how Brian Curtis managed to grow his hair out in this way and why he's wearing glasses now, it's because Brian's not available and he's on vacation. So Debra Durbin, who happened to be in the crowd, got promoted to be my co-host today because Dale didn't plan for it. But it turns out that Debra is a past client of our training program and she's awesome. So, you know, we're confident that she can give some opinions here.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, no worries there. What do you need in a house? Like, what are the things that are important to you that you absolutely must have?
Preferably like 4 bedrooms.
All right. Maybe 2 baths?
That would be nice, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Debra, who needs 4 bedrooms? What
Kids.
kind of kids?
He's got kids.
Family members, people who work from home, right?
Right.
There's a specific reason usually that you want 4 bedrooms. There's a reason you want 2 bedrooms, right? Like there's a reason you want a 1-bedroom condo. So let's see if he capitalizes on this opportunity to discover more.
You want a big yard, acreage, anything like that?
It doesn't have to be that big.
Okay.
Nope, doesn't take it, right?
No, it doesn't take any of it, and it's still so impersonal, right?
Yeah.
We don't know anything about her at this point.
Yeah.
Houses for you, or if you found any, would you be interested in just, you know, going and looking at them?
Well, let me rewind this. This is his, he's closing here.
So if I were to find some houses for you, or if you found any, would you be interested in just, you know, going and looking at them, maybe doing some practice shopping, seeing what the market's like, and, you know, getting your feet wet a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Well, what I can do, I don't know what price range you're looking in yet, but I can pull some stuff up based on like 4 bedrooms and a couple baths in that area. And
Okay.
I can set up some showings for us if you want.
All right, sure.
Okay. What's the best time of day for you to go do that?
Weekends would probably work best.
You know what, Debra? I have this thing that I learned, and you probably learned it too. If the sale's too easy, it ain't gonna happen, right?
Yeah, we had one of those, a real one, him and I, and he said to me, I wouldn't expect this person to show up for your meeting. And
This
I was
person-
like, absolutely, this person's going to show up. And of course, the person didn't show up. And this is early on, right? And I think he's a lot. I don't think I was this bad, but my point is that he had so many opportunities from the very beginning to start talking to her and find out more about her and find out about why Pawpaw and why 4 bedrooms. She gave him a lot of opportunity to do that, and
Yes.
he didn't grab any of it.
Right, exactly. And spoiler alert, she doesn't show up for this appointment. They spend the next 30 seconds or 40 seconds booking this appointment for that coming Saturday. And when I reviewed this call with him, you know, I listened to it and I said, wow, there's no rapport here. this person too easily said that they're going to go and meet with you, and she probably isn't going to meet. And, I didn't want to crap on it too hard, but I was like, hey, I'll eat my hat if that person meets you on Saturday and they didn't show, because we can hear it and you hear it, right? And so that's, if you listen back to these things, once you get enough experience, you'll know whether or not that's going to happen. It was too easy, wasn't enough rapport, the appointment never happened. So that's why if you get the rapport built with people and you make a connection with them, it is so much easier for them to then be honest with you as to whether they're going to meet with you or not. I think this is one of those situations where that lead just yesed him to kind of get him off the phone, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe
That's exactly right.
Yeah, maybe she was like, okay, I could meet you to see this property, but guaranteed that she didn't remember him. She didn't know anything about him. When she got off the phone with him, probably rethought that idea or forgot about it completely because there was no substance there.
Yeah, there was zero substance there. And I think he needs to do what I did. He needs to slow it down. He needs to practice with other people. Well, the one thing I learned the most, Dale, that I want to pare it back is that the practice of just doing it over and over again with anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, helps reinforce the parts of you that you really need work on. So in my case, I needed to slow it down and think about that other person on the other side and what might be the intent of them looking for anything anyway. And it made a huge difference. I still practice all the time because it's sort of ingrained, right? To go back to your old pattern. And the only way to break it is to continually practicing the new pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. And Monty Whitson wrote, I loved using your question, do you live in the area or are you relocating? Always opens it up. Yeah, man, that's a so simple, like non-salesy question. It's like literally like that's the kind of question that you would ask somebody at a barbecue that you meet. It doesn't have to be a sales interaction to ask that question. And then the other thing I want to say is, if we're listening to this, right? We're kind of pulling this thing apart. And I want to be honest with everybody listening. This salesperson's pretty successful. He's relatively new to real estate sales, but he's pretty successful. He's taking the shots, he's getting appointments, he's putting stuff under contract. But listening back to this, if you realize that you have a conversation where you didn't really build rapport and you don't have some substance in that conversation, don't feel bad to call them back, right? You could call her back and say, hey, listen, I'm happy to meet with you on Saturday. I completely forgot to ask you. You mentioned you have family in the area. I have family in the area. I just wanted to see if maybe we run into each other. Where did you go to high school? I don't know. I just made that up, right? But call them back, build some more rapport, get some information, get some meat in there, some substance into it. You don't have to be afraid to do that. If you spoke to them once, you can speak to them again. You're not going to screw it up.
And that's why I should call that other person back again.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, definitely. And you never blame it on them. You can say, oh, hey, listen, I got super busy. I missed you on Saturday, forgot to follow up. My apologies. Even in reality, you stood me up, right? And then just get into a conversation, build some more rapport. And what will happen is once they crack and they start to like you as a person, then they'll probably apologize for not showing up, or they'll tell you what happened that caused them not to show up. And then you'll get the real story as to whether they're ready to show up next time when you book that appointment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, what you said is this guy has all the makings of a really great all-star real estate agent. And if he can get this part worked out, he's going to really up his closing rates. Because he'll get far better on the far first end of it, so he can do a better job on the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key ingredient is that he's coachable. Well, two key ingredients. He already has natural talent, right? He's a salesperson like you, Debra, but he's coachable. If you put natural talent and coachable together, that is dynamite. So everybody in the chat, how's Debra doing today? How's she doing as co-host? What do you think, Debra? How are we doing, Deb? What do you think about co-hosting with me today?
Well, you and I have always enjoyed co-hosting in whatever venue we were in. So yeah, this was great fun for me, and thanks everybody for allowing me to be the co-host today.
There we go. We got a bunch of comments. Great job. Great. Yeah, great co-host. There we go. Excellent. All right, everybody. Hey, you know what, Deborah? Because you were willing to step up and be a co-host, we were actually able to make Cash Call happen today. I don't know if I could do it by myself. That would just be weird. Anyway, so thanks for joining me today, everybody. Thanks for jumping on the Cash Call. Brian Curtis will be back with me next week. Sorry, Deborah. I can't give you a full-time spot. Brian's going to be coming back, but thanks for stepping up and doing that with us today. And thanks for joining us, everybody. Thomas wrote, hire her. That's great.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Deborah.
Thanks for listening to Cash Call today. If you like what you heard, come check us out at smartsalescoaching.com, and we'll be back again next week.